Howdy. Merry Christmas, I.O. Saturnalia, or however you want to call it this time of a year, in which is accumulated quite a big amount of stress for many different kinds of reasons. This is some mock kuksa, they are called, and these are representing some petroglyphs here. And since it's Christmas, everybody knows that Santa Claus has reindeers. And I have been making videos about the saying here in Finnish language about the sun reindeering. Yeah, it doesn't make really sense in English, but in Finnish it's aurinko porottaa, which literally translated into English means the sun is reindeering. And here on this picture there's like a reindeer and the sun. Maybe. At least this is what common theory is interpreting these kind of pictures. I wanted to show you that you can find this kind of knowledge also from other sources. I will still show a part of Thunderbolt's video, since for me the work of Dave Talbott and Walt Thornhill, The Electric Universe, with all those mythical explanations, combined with Anthony Perrat's interpretations of the petroglyphs and all that stuff, it's just so mind-blowing. That's why I like to share it. If there's one who gets his mind blown through that, it would be very cool. World history, etc. Thinking with history, education. I.O. Saturnalia. Yeah, we have to reload it. Happy Saturnalia to all. December 17 marks the beginning of the Saturnalia, a festival held in honor of Saturn that lasted for between 3 and 7 days. It was celebrated in Rome for the first time in 497 BC, when the Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum was dedicated. The poet Catullus called it the best of days. Saturnalibus optimo dierum. The holiday began with a sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn. After the rituals, the celebrants shouted, I.O. Saturnalia. It was followed by several days of feasting and fun. It is now the month of December, when the greatest part of the city is in a bustle. Loose reins are given to public dissipation. Everywhere you may hear the sound of great preparations, as if there were some real difference between the days devoted to Saturn and those for transacting businesses. So they are doing stuff. Were you here, I would willingly confer with you as to the plan of our conduct, whether we should eat in our usual way or to avoid singularity, both take a better supper and throw off the toga. Get naked. But let me show you this other video, because I find it very, very, very cool. This is so much. That's a great work.
In some phases with the movement of Mars, dust and electrified plasma streaming between Mars and Venus became visible to terrestrial observers. Even small changes in this dusty plasma stream, were we to view the formation from space, would create distinctive differences in the appearance of the configuration. The great kings of ancient times wore conical crowns in numerous and always enigmatic varieties. For these revered forms, the experts can find no referent in nature today. Yet the priestly chroniclers of antiquity knew that these crowns imitated the vestment of a cosmic warrior, the prototype of the warrior king on Earth. With progressive instability and displacement from the axis, the stream joining Mars and Venus spiraled outward. This was the mother goddess herself, the radiant eye, heart, and soul of the primeval sun, now externalized as a curling lock of hair. And the earliest sources leave no doubt that it was a visible form in the sky. The sidelock of the warrior king mimicked that of his predecessor, the cosmic warrior. This curling life breath provoked innumerable symbols, far more than we could include here. Just one example was the mooring post in the sky, signifying the outflow of the eye and the evolving form of creation itself. A critical turn came with the removal of the life breath curl, unleashing the terrible goddess and a cosmic crisis. In his rage, the Hindu Shiva tore out a lock of his hair, from which arose his own dark aspect, the monster Virabhadra, and close by the terrifying form of the angry goddess, whom we recognize as the comet Venus.
So now, I just put now Samichlaus into Google, and Samichlaus is the Swiss version of Santa Claus, or the Swiss version of Joulupukki, which is the Finnish, which is the original. Now we have to put images, because I just wanted to show you some images. I would hope that he would have a stick. Cocktails and carry-ons. So here we have an original Swiss Samichlaus. So anyway, I will put links below to this. There's the curl. And we have the red colors. And there is some crosses on his sleeve. And in the back, this figure here belongs to him, because he's somehow the bad one everybody's scared of. And which is part of the game, in order to keep the kids afraid. Now let's check out the Finnish version. And I explained earlier in earlier videos. Joulupukki. Joulu means Christmas. Maybe I have to figure out what it originally means. But pukki, it's usually It refers to a male goat or sheep, which is rather interesting. 19 hours ago, Helsinki Sanomat. Let's see if there's any goat kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, check it out. There's a goat. No matter if you speak Finnish or not. But there's a goat on the picture. We don't even have to read anything. Vuohesta valkopartaan. Suomalaisten tuntema joulupukki muistuttaa vuohta. Kunnes vaikutteet maailmalta rantautuivat Pohjolaan. Valokuvat eli vuosikymmeneltä paljastavat joulupukin evoluution ja sen, miksi joulupuki-asiantuntija puhuu pukin vahvoista siteistä elinkeinoelämään. This was a bit sketchy Finnish since it's rather hard somehow sometimes to switch between languages. So now let's go over to Google Earth. No, it's Google Translate. From a goatee to a white beard. The Santa known to Finns resembled a goat. Until influences from the world reached the north. Photos from different decades reveal the evolution of Santa Claus and why a Santa expert talks about Santa's strong ties to the business world. I haven't seen this, but that's very interesting. I probably can't even read it. Read for free. Read 2 weeks for free. White beard, red is burning. Flat shoes. Yeah, I made this video already a year ago or something, where I pointed also the horns out, the serpent of creation, joulupukki, the reindeers. It's all about Venus and Mars. That's why the color is red. And the Christmas tree resembles a plasma stability or instability. Jacob's ladder. But since we have been talking about Venus, Mars, and Saturn, we have to talk about Jupiter as well. Decades of data show strange temperature swings pulsing through Jupiter's clouds. 23rd December. Infrared images from European and Southern Observatory's very large telescope of Jupiter revealing temperatures. Brighter regions are warmer and have thinner clouds. Darker areas, the opposite. A close study of 40 years worth of data has revealed something a little hinky going on with Jupiter. According to a wealth of information collected by both ground and space-based telescopes, the temperature in Jupiter's upper troposphere exhibits regular fluctuations that don't seem to be tied to any seasonal variations. This surprising and intriguing finding could help scientists finally understand the gas giant's strange weather I have been talking about. Could it be that as the interplanetary dust cloud hits our solar system too, as it has been hitting like all the stuff around it, it's spreading out from the center of the galaxy. So as it is approaching or enclosing our solar system, could there be any possibility that Jupiter or Saturn would light up again like we had back in the days, the Golden Age? And if it would happen, would they change their trajectory around the sun because the charge of the whole system would be different? I don't know. But We've solved one part of the puzzle now, which is that the atmosphere shows these natural cycles, says planetary scientist Lee Fletcher of the University of Leicester in the UK. To understand what's driving these patterns and why they occur on these particular timescales, we need to explore both above and below the cloudy layers. It ought to surprise no one that Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, is very unlike our lovely habitable homeworld. It's whipped by wild winds, clad in thick layers of clouds, and speckled with tempestuous storms that can grow to sizes larger than Earth. Its extreme weather is so very alien that scientists have struggled to understand it. Yeah, they seem to struggle with many things to understand. We know that it's ringed by alternating bands of light and dark clouds known as zones and belts that rotate around the planet in opposite directions. We also know from infrared images that darker belts are warmer, at least partially because the clouds are thinner, allowing more heat to escape from the planetary interior. The other interesting thing about Jupiter is that it doesn't have much of a tilt. The axis around which the planet rotates lists by a mere 3 degrees in relation to its orbital plane around the Sun. Here on Earth and other planets like Mars and Saturn, a strong axial tilt, 23.4 degrees for Earth, points the poles towards or away from the Sun, causing distinct seasonal variations in temperature. Scientists never expected Jupiter to experience significant cycles in temperature variation, but until now, long-term data sets on the planet's heat profile haven't been available to check whether this was the case until now. Data from instruments aboard the Voyager and Cassini space probes, and from the Very Large Telescope, the Subaru Telescope, and NASA's Infrared Telescope facility, gave a team led by planetary scientist Glenn Orton of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory decades worth of thermal data to work with. To their surprise, they found temperature fluctuations with periodicities of 4, 7 to 9, and 10 to 14 years, involving different latitude bands. These seem disconnected, they found, from seasonal temperature variation. How could they be disconnected? However, there is some internal consistency as temperatures rise at specific latitudes in the northern hemisphere, they go down at corresponding latitudes in the southern hemisphere. So they are connected. Specifically at 16, 22, and 30 degrees. It's as though Jupiter is a mirror of itself, split by the equator, maintaining thermal balance. Yes, this is how nature works. It's trying to establish an equilibrium all the time. That was the most surprising of all, Orton says. We found a connection between how the temperatures varied at very distant latitudes. It's similar to a phenomenon we see on Earth, where weather and climate patterns in one region can have noticeable influence on weather elsewhere, with the patterns of variability seemingly teleconnected across vast distances through the atmosphere. Yes. If you see weather as an electrical phenomenon, it's totally clear that they are connected, plus and minus, up and down. It's unclear what drives or links these temperature fluctuations, but a clue can be found higher in Jupiter's atmosphere, in the clear stratospheric layer that sits above the cloudy troposphere. At Jupiter's equator, temperature variations in the troposphere are matched by an opposite variation in the stratosphere. This suggests suggests that whatever is happening at higher altitudes is influencing what is happening below, or vice versa. Yes. And whatever that might be, this study is a very important piece of the puzzle that may one day help scientists to be able to accurately understand and predict Jovian weather. Or even Earth's weather, why not? You wouldn't need a telescope for that. Just watch out of the window. Measuring these temperature changes and periods over time is a step toward ultimately having a full-on Jupiter weather forecast. If we can connect cause and effect in Jupiter's atmosphere, Fletcher says, an even bigger picture question as if we can someday extend this to other giant planets to see if similar patterns show up. Yes, or Earth. It's right around the corner. But I leave it here. Yeah. Enjoy the evening. Thanks. Bye.